So I went to the University of Alberta to study as a serious actor. During that time, there was three friends that all simultaneously went into puppets, and we learned from a group in Edmonton called Patchwork Puppets. One of the fellows, Clayton Jevney, ended up in Victoria starting an alternative theatre. Another fellow went to Ottawa. I moved on to Toronto, where I was lucky enough to pass an audition for the Muppets for Fraggle Rock. And then I had my second university degree, so I should have a master's so I could teach. Not that I'm bitter, but I spent 4 years behind the scenes of Fraggle Rock and learned how to do the Muppet style of puppets very well, which helped all my other techniques. After that, I had another little I gotta get out of town, because for some reason I was always split between the artistic and the entertainment side, and I gravitated towards Quebec, because it's very visually, the theater there is very visual. You had Robert Lepage, you had all this great modern dance, you had clown troupes that were doing Shakespeare.
This is when? What year did
this is around 86. 86. Yeah. And actually you could see then what made Cirque du Soleil happen. Like Cirque du Soleil really is, well, it's culling a number of different things. One is sort of European street performance, and the other is the sense of design in Quebec, with all in their window display. It was very rich. So I hung out in Quebec, did great, had lots of little TV shows out of Montreal, went to Denmark, did some things. And started to develop on the other artistic side, because there's always this kind of bipolar artistic or entertainment side to my life. Got into live video puppetry, which was kind of like modern dance for puppets, and we work with music actuel guys, which is people dropping seashells on microphoned chairs. Hey. Yeah, so I didn't have to worry because I had TV money. I didn't care. I just did what I wanted. Well, that was sort of a dumb thing, because when you want funding, you got no history. So, anyways, the lady that I showed my video technique to, Marcel Houdon, went on and developed it very, really articulately. And she got into halogen shadow puppets through a workshop in Charlevoix, France. There's a big puppet festival there, and the Italians started this technique with halogen light bulbs, which basically allows you to use the halogen bulb like a movie camera, so you get a sense of depth that the traditional two-dimensional technique doesn't have. So she wanted my movie projector, or my video projector, and said, you don't need that for the project you want to do, you should do shadow puppets. So she brought out a bird cage and moved a halogen light in relationship to a couple of props, and you could see this amazing dimension. It was really very beautiful. So I went, okay, you can still borrow my video projector. I will make The Musicians of Bremen in shadows. For which we did, and that ended up going to, much to my surprise, to Germany, to a Unima International Shadow Puppet Festival. That was my first shadow show. Went on to doing a pretty funky 1-hour version of Goethe's Faust Part 1 with lovely music by, I'm trying to think, it was Eric Corey. He's a pretty neat electric cellist.
Well, his cello's electric, isn't he?
Sorry, you could drop shells.
Just not water.
No. But he did great door knocks, like on the body of the cello, and he had a foot pedal, so he was it was all sort of synthesized, and it was great. So that got me. That's my favorite shadow show to date. And then I have always wanted to try the technique, because the technique is incredibly simple. So it's the way you use it to make it interesting. I've always wanted to try to do something large. And so this little project,
this little large project,
this little, with 80 singers and a symphony choir, probably only 4 puppeteers. That's pretty good.
So hidden in the room.
That one. Hidden in a room below the stage. I'm very excited about this. I think it's great. And it's important for me that it's being done live as opposed to sort of pre-recorded. And also the design work of Michel Gagne is absolutely fabulous. Usually I would actually design, build, and manipulate everything. And in this case, it looks like I may take on more of a role of a director and coordinate the movement aspects of the project, which it is exciting also. I may actually be able to see what the projections look like in their entirety without being stuck behind a light instrument. I mean, what is exciting about this technique, which you do see in Europe quite a bit, and you see it in Quebec a lot, is that it is filmatic. So there's a three-dimensional quality, not 3D as in the funny glasses. There's actually shadow people that do that. I want to see that. I think Seattle has. But this is, it's the movement of the ability to move the lighting instrument. So as because of new technology, actually energy efficient bulbs have created this new form because you can move the lighting instrument and it works literally like zooms and pans, and it opens up. The actual puppets are three-dimensional, so that when you see the puppets, sometimes they look like a normal puppet, and then you tell people what's a shadow puppet, and they go, well, that's kind of too bad, I'd like to see this guy. But, looks better on the shadow, you can make them really big, I don't know. And there seems to be a real interest in puppets on the West Coast, and not that much in the way of totally professional puppet companies. I think the popular one is Old Trout, which are fabulous. But there does seem to be in Victoria a growing body of people that would like to do the work, as it were. So I'm pretty excited, and the 4 people that we have lined up on this project so far seem infinitely competent and capable, and it makes me wonder if there actually may not be a future actually in puppets in Victoria, because I was just looking at buying a picture framing gallery. So maybe I won't have to do that.
Vive la puppeteer.
Yeah.
And there are communities as well, aren't there, in Seattle and Portland and Vancouver?
Yes,
so, I mean,
and actually I'm not that aware of it, but Dawn Shell, who's on this, I mean, she was the president of the puppet group in Victoria at one time, and then the interest kind of dispersed, but she's just a wealth of information about the whole local area, including the States and the West Coast. And I mean, it would be delightful if we could revive that again and just use things like this, because this will imprint on people's imaginations, I hope, or maybe we will have blown it.
Well, thank you for those positive
Yes.
last remarks. I look forward to working with you, Jim.